3 seasons ago, we started this podcast. 3 fortnights ago, we talked about Fantastic Four vs. Superman and who would win. And 3 days ago, the box office buds saw James Gunn's Superman. And now we're here to review, honestly, a fantastic film. Alche, you were the man that had Superman in our box office league. I'll explain more later if this is your first time listening, but you have to be thrilled with the return that it got.
I'm thrilled. I'm not elated. I'm happy. I'm very nervous. I don't know if it has the legs that I thought it was going to have. But yeah, 122 mil domestically, 217 overall over 3 days. How could you be upset about that?
Solid.
Was the movie great, though? I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about it, and we'll get into it.
Yeah, I had a blast watching this movie. It was honestly everything I wanted out of this movie. Was it a perfect movie? Absolutely not. But we talked about last week how this was the entrance into the new world of DC, and this had a big, big story to tell. And they had some big responsibilities to take this into the new level. And I got to say, I really am excited for the next level of DC. Kellerman, you are the resident comic book nerd here. How did you feel about a movie you were probably the most anticipatory of the whole year?
I loved it. And to be clear, even when I thought that it was going to be the most successful box office-wise movie of the year, I didn't know if it was going to be a good movie or whatever. I just assumed from everything that we had seen that it would break the box office. And I still think that it's going to do really well.
Yep.
I still think that it has the potential to be the highest grossing movie of the year. And not everybody loved it. I've heard a lot of criticisms, and I totally understand where a lot of them come from. But for me personally, it hit a very specific sweet spot for me. It did something that I'm not sure any other comic book movie has done.
Ooh.
I don't know what everybody's relationship to Superman comic books are.
Okay.
But for me, I don't read them consistently. I pick up one every once in a while.
I don't think I've ever read one in my life.
Really? They're fantastic.
This movie gave me the exact feeling I get when I pick up a random issue of Superman.
Is that a good thing or a
Nailed
bad
it.
thing?
It's a great thing.
That's a good feeling.
It nailed it.
Okay.
It nailed it.
I agree. I mean, I haven't read them in years, but it did feel the most like the comic book to me. Every character felt the most like the comic book to me. Outside of Lois, but I think they just modernized her, which I think was very, very wise.
Sure.
And she, is almost like a worthy partner of Superman. She pushes him in ways that he doesn't see. And I think that she does a fantastic, fantastic job. What I realized overall, I greatly enjoyed the movie. I love Superman. I think Corn Sweat is by far the best
great.
Superman we've had.
He was great. I don't know about that. But
Time out. You said that in your review online, and people started bringing up, you can't just throw away the original Superman.
Christopher Reeves was Superman in real life.
Christopher Reeves is amazing.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
Corn Sweat was great. Don't get me wrong. I really love Corn Sweat.
Was great.
Christopher Reeves, you can't just throw away.
I'm not throwing him away. I think that...
I would even make the argument for Henry Cavill also as being a fantastic Superman.
Again, a fantastic Superman in their own right. My favorite Superman is David Cornsweat.
Okay, that's not what you said, though. That I'll accept.
Okay, my favorite and in my opinion, the best Superman by far is David Cornsweat.
All right.
Hey, listen, he was fantastic. This movie I really enjoyed.
Don't you want to know why?
Sure.
Don't you want to know why?
Sure, please tell me why.
Oh my God, thanks for asking. I think that he is the best Superman by far because he's a three-dimensional human being, three-dimensional alien, three-dimensional character. For the first time we've ever seen in Superman history. Therefore, I'm actually interested to see what happens to him. He's not just winning every battle, he's losing most of them.
Yeah.
That is one criticism I had is that Crypto seems to save the day far too many times.
A lot of crypto.
There's a lot of crypto.
There's
but
actually stakes going on. You don't just expect him to win.
not to mention the fact that Superman, they solved a critique that has always been one of the dramatic character of Superman, which is his impenetrability, his invulnerability.
That's why I never liked Superman.
It's why a lot of people don't like Superman as a character, and this time, Superman could be hurt.
Yeah, I do want to say I had some conversations on the outside here with some not so much fans of this movie, and I do want to make their voices heard. So just coming in, a Zack Snyder fan has written us a question. So Zack Snyder makes So Zack Snyder makes Superman brooding, and Matt Reeves makes Batman a sad teen, and people call it lame. But James Gunn makes Superman a dashboard confessional emo, and it's a fresh new take on the character. Alche, you said you liked this three-dimensional dashboard confessional emo.
First of all, dashboard confessional emo is a ridiculous thing to
Terribly
say.
inaccurate.
He jokes about being emo, but he's not emo.
He's punk
Lois
rock.
Lane.
That's right.
He's not punk rock.
Specifically.
He's also not punk rock. He's into some lamestream band, which was a very odd, I agree, part of the storyline. He's not.
There will be some movie based on the band eventually,
yeah,
or
sure,
something.
I'm sure. But there was
That's what I
no,
figured.
there was no
Starring Sean
actual
Gunn.
Setting up a TV
There's
show.
no actual character piece. That it was a one-off joke. That's a ridiculous Zack Snyder poke, and I take offense to it. I like the Batman. I know you do not, but I liked the Batman.
I
and
like the Batman just
Pattinson's
fine. I just
Pattinson.
don't like Pattinson as Batman.
So I have no qualms with that. I do have many qualms with the first.
Yeah,
statement.
Zack Snyder's. It wasn't just Superman was like dark and brooding. It was the whole feel of the movie, which this movie had a very much lighter feel,
Yes.
regardless
It
of
felt like Superman.
how emo the character
Felt
was.
like
or
Superman.
However, whatever
Speaking
you
of
felt
Zack
about it.
Snyder versus James Gunn, we are going to dive into some spoilers about this Superman movie. If you haven't figured out already, I hope we haven't spoiled anything for you so far. But this Superman, James Gunn's Superman in particular, was purposefully different from the Zack Snyder Superman and did its fair share of jabs at former Zack Snyder
noticed that too.
Supermans.
Yeah.
And it starts off right at the beginning. The new DC logo, it came out for what James Gunn TV show again?
The Creature Commandos.
The Creature Commandos, they debuted this DC logo. It opens the Superman. It's Superman, the cartoon Superman in chains before he breaks out of them. And it's DC. A little bit of a nod to what was coming there.
Very
and
on the
also
nose.
calling Superman punk rock and him saying, I am punk rock because kindness is punk rock. Zack Snyder has been referred to as a punk rock director out there because he goes against the grain. He does his own thing. So that was not
That's funny.
out of nowhere that they called him punk rock Superman. But the biggest one to me, when his Superman is fighting that crazy dinosaur that grows overnight, Superman's whole purpose in that scene is to make sure the dinosaur doesn't fall into any buildings.
Saving the buildings.
He's saving the buildings.
He saved so many
Over
buildings.
and
squirrel,
over
and
again,
the
the squirrel, and every
Animals.
breathing thing.
Yeah.
And if you can't tell me that wasn't a shot at the Zack Snyder level of Superman destruction that happened. Speaking of, we have another question from a Zack Snyder fan coming in right now. So people give Zack Snyder a hard time for smashing a few buildings, myself included. But James Gunn has skyscrapers.
Smashing a few buildings.
But James Gunn has skyscrapers falling like dominoes and a city splitting in half at the end, and no one says a peep. Kellerman, the difference between Snyder and Gunn. Do you believe Snyder gets a bad rap for his destruction and Gunn gets away with it?
Truthfully, I have mixed feelings about it because I'm okay with Zack Snyder's destroying all of Metropolis fight scene because it was cool, and I hadn't seen Superman act that way before. However, it's not really relatable to what happens in this movie because Superman isn't a part of the destruction of the buildings at all. As we just said, Superman's mostly saving buildings in this movie. There's a time where something is happening. We'll call it an earthquake for the purposes of this podcast.
You can spoil it. We're in spoiler mode.
Okay. Spoiler alert, a pocket dimension is opening inside the city and destroying buildings until Superman stops it.
I'm curious, who created
So-
that? Who created that pocket dimension?
Lex Luthor
Oh, that's
created
right. That's
the
right. It was
pocket
Lex Luthor,
dimension,
not
yeah.
Superman.
And also,
Correct.
they make a point to have the whole city evacuate, and there's a whole scene about evacuation and saving the lady in the car from the skies.
Yeah,
so like
the entire plot of Batman versus Superman is that Batman is upset at Superman for purposely destroying so many buildings.
Yes. So I think there's a vast... Listen, it's a superhero movie. Stuff's going to get broken, okay? Especially when you're fighting these kaiju-like monsters. But to make a point that the superhero is doing everything he can to keep the city looking picturesque rather than throwing that dinosaur, doing a power bomb through a skyscraper,
Wildly different.
which is what we're used to seeing, yes, I believe there is a huge difference.
big difference.
But overall, Alch, I'm going to bring it back to you. The new morality of the Superman. Did this it wasn't a perfect movie to me. The James Gunn overly sarcastic, always quirky comedy doesn't always work for me. Sometimes it's a little heavy-handed. There's also a lot in this movie, like a lot of things going on. You're already in the story. You got to kind of know some of the characters
you
to
have to
get
catch
into
up
it.
a little bit.
Some new twists on some characters. We'll talk about how the father is treated now. But with your opinion on this, I think you liked this movie the least out of us. Not to say you didn't like it, but what out of this movie didn't work for you?
I really liked the movie. I want to preface it with that.
Yeah, don't get mad at him,
feel like
internet
it's so hard not
commenters.
to
He
like.
likes James Gunn and he likes the movie.
First of all, yes, both those things are true. I'm also thrilled that Superman is an immigrant. All the things that everyone's saying.
Should we talk about the immigrant
It all makes
controversy?
sense. I think there's some interesting oddities in this movie. There's some heavy-handedness in this movie that I think he was trying to push toward the folks who didn't know Superman a little bit too hard for me. My biggest takeaway from this entire movie is, look, Eddie Gathegi does a phenomenal job. He's also a buddy, one of my wife's good friends.
He's excellent.
And he's fantastic.
He's
Maybe the best
excellent.
part of the movie as Mr. Terrific.
Hands
Unfortunately,
great.
Mr. Terrific is such a lame character. Hawk Girl, so lame. She's barely in the movie, doesn't do anything. What I realized, the Justice Gang, yes,
Right. It was its own joke.
they
That's the whole
do
point.
they do all these jokes against how these characters are lame. But my biggest takeaway is that DC is universally lame outside of Superman and Batman.
That's not true at all.
It's
No, it's
100%
pretty
true.
true.
No
DC's
way, dude.
characters are so much more boring than
don't-
Marvel's
you-
characters.
I will say this. Hold on,
Hold
Kelvin.
on a
Kelvin.
second.
No.
The two guys
Hold on.
who don't read the comics.
Hold on. Wait a second. Out of everything I've seen in my 36 years on this earth, in DC and in Marvel, the DC guys, it is a top-heavy division. And Marvel, there is a lot more to play with. That's the only thing I want to say.
I mean, I guess I'm a Marvel boy through and through, so I would agree that the Rogues Gallery of Marvel is more widespread. However, DC has more characters than just Superman and Batman to hang their
I'm
hat
not saying
on.
they don't, but I'm saying...
I mean, Green Lantern is huge and has a plethora of characters
Yes.
just within itself
Can I say-
that are beloved by fans. Not to
Yes.
mention the fact that Absolute Martian Manhunter is one of the best comic books I think I've ever read in my life.
The Green Lantern in this James Gunn Superman, that was I did not. I knew he was going to be the comedic role. I
Yeah.
knew he was going to be like the sarcastic, guy on the
He's
side.
not the nice Green Lantern.
I really enjoyed this
Oh, he
whole
was
take
great.
on
Guy
it.
Gardner's great. Yeah,
I
he's hilarious.
really
Hilarious.
enjoyed it. And
Nathan
I also,
Fillion was fantastic.
I also believed that he felt he could step up to Superman. He felt he was on the same level as the most powerful being in the world, which you kind of need. Like, no one can take a back seat yet to Superman.
And I believed that he wouldn't help in the end.
Yes.
Which he didn't.
yes.
I liked it a lot. I really liked it a lot. I liked most of the characters. Mr. Terrific is a star of the show to me. Also, Supergirl out there.
Can't wait.
If you happen to be collecting a harem of men, I would want to throw my hat in the ring. I'm available if you're available. Take me to that Red Sun. But Kelman, did you enjoy the changes made to the characters in these movies, specifically the fact that Superman's father is a bad guy?
You thought Pa Kent was... Oh, you mean Kal-El.
Yeah.
I was like, Pa Kent is the nicest. No, Kal-El. Yeah,
So far.
truthfully, that doesn't bother me. That's a pretty, in my opinion, small tweak to the origin story that even the character essentially ignores ultimately. So it's like, it kind of becomes, he overcomes that. It also is an essential plot point to what I thought was a pretty interesting plot device, as far as having the whole world starting with everybody knowing him, loving him, and having the world kind of turn against him for a little while. I thought was an interesting way to do that.
Yeah.
And fed into Lex Luthor's plan, and not one of Lex Luthor's best plans, probably, but again, it's every once in a while you pick up a Superman comic book and it's just one of his plans. Didn't work out.
R3! L5!
So
He was playing a
and
video
it's
game.
a little over
and,
the top.
yeah,
It's a little silly,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I personally think that fits right in.
I think he was freaking
Oh,
fantastic.
and don't even get me started. I thought Nicholas Hoult was truly incredible.
I agree. I agree. Nicholas Hoult was fantastic. I'm laughing because the producer behind the screen right now,
doesn't agree.
not on mic right now does not agree about Nicholas Holt's take on Lex Luthor. I loved it. I loved the morality of it. I loved he's such a good actor. And also, I liked the video game aspect of it because it fed into the whole entire argument of this movie is brain versus brawn. Even when Lois and Superman are arguing about the morality of what Superman did in the stuff off screen, he goes and saves a country that's being invaded. Lois asks him a bunch of times, you acted without thinking. You did not ask anyone, should I do this? You inserted yourself in there using your brawn instead of your brain. And it goes to Lex Luthor using, spoiler, a clone of Superman himself to fight Superman, except it's Lex Luthor calling the shots. So it is the brain and the brawn together versus Superman. It's the whole pit of this movie, and I thought it was geniusly done.
Do you think that clone turns into Bizarro in the future?
See, I have no idea what that means, but
still alive, so maybe.
But already the name Bizarro proves the point that Marvel has better superheroes. Just throwing that out there.
Well, hold on a second. If you don't know and like Bizarro, that's on you.
Bizarro everything is like a thing that I think a lot of superhero fans love.
Bizarro World.
Yeah, Bizarro World.
Can't wait to see Clayface.
Yeah. Wait, are you not excited for Clayface?
Just say it. A little bit lame. Just that. I'm sure it's gonna be good.
Clayface will be better than Venom.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'd say they're on the same level of character.
Speaking of better, Superman. We haven't talked about this at all. We usually lead the show. It's in our name, the box office bud. Superman itself, the James Gunn version, did very, very well at the box office. 122 million domestically, just under the line.
Are we still at 122, TJ? Are we still there, or did it go up? Did it go up?
Oh my God! Hit us with the final
total.
number.
Has it gone up?
Hit us with the final total.
217 worldwide. It is a pretty dang good number for Superman. It moves Alche up. He has 843 million in our league. Each of us draft 5 movies every single year. Whoever makes the most money at the worldwide box office wins said league. I am leading thanks to Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon, 1.6 billion.
For one more week.
Unfortunately, you're pretty much done at this point.
Kellerman has Fantastic Four coming in 2 weeks. He's at 1.1 billion in third place. TJ, thanks to the back of Jurassic Park, is now at 1 billion. But you, my friend, with F1 still making a lot of money in theaters and Superman heading off this week, 843 million. You're about halfway to the lead. Do you think Superman and F1 together can get you where you need to go?
I think it'll get me to about 1.3, and then we're gonna freak on a Friday, and we'll be right there, baby.
I don't know about Freakier Friday helping you out that much.
One last question from a Zack Snyder fan has just come in. So people are impressed with the 122 box office for Superman when Batman vs. Superman made 166 million opening weekend. That's not even a question. It's just a statement. And the Zack Snyder fan expects us to take that and talk about it. I don't give a flying F what Batman vs. Superman made.
Hey, breaking news! Breaking news! Interrupting.
Say it into the mic. Say it into the mic.
Interrupting this BVS slander. Superman made 125 million domestically.
No, it did not. No, it did not. Oh my God.
But is that still over or under? Because it could very well be 124.99,
Yep.
and they're
Let's
just
see
saying
it.
125. So thank you for that input. We still are waiting for the exact number. Right now, it's undecided who wins or loses the over-under, but it's right on the
Man.
mark, and TJ gave us an excellent line. He'll be giving us 2 more lines in the next 2 episodes, because tomorrow's episode is I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I will unfortunately be missing out on that one, but the episode after that, we'll be talking about Eddington, and I'm excited for it, and I guess there's another movie coming out this week. But before we leave, Batman vs. Superman debate. BVS made more money than James Gunn's Superman opening weekend. Does that matter?
No, obviously not. Batman vs. Superman, first of all, that just should have been a better movie, period.
Well, I think...
As 2 of the most iconic DC characters, as you said.
This is Superman alone. Doesn't have Batman in the title. Doesn't
Correct.
have Batman in the movie at all. It's very much the opening of a new thing. I think giving this direct ties to other Superman movies would be, like Man of Steel, would be more a better line. But if Zack Snyder fans are taking this as their champion, as their championship belt, good on you. Go watch it on DVD again and fall asleep before Act 3 shows up.
It was also a different time. What was that, 2016 or something?
Yeah,
I mean,
congrats.
Movies were making billions of dollars at the box office.
I
That's just not happening this
I
year.
also think, and at least my hope, and I do believe, based on what I'm seeing with F1 just trickling along at the clip that it's trickling, we're almost at 400 mil on week 3. Superman and Fantastic Four are going to have a 2-month runway.
Yeah.
And we'll see who ends up at the top there. Pedro Pascal may give you that bump. I don't know.
I just needed to make 500
But I
million
do
right
think
now.
Also, based on what Jurassic World did, based on what Jurassic World did last week as well, not really missing a beat.
Yeah.
With,
That's true.
With Superman coming out,
You're right.
I think all three of these movies have the potential to continue going at a consistent pace. So we'll see where they end up.
I will add on that even movies that have been out for a while, like 28 Days Later, like How to Train Your Dragon, these movies, even Mission Impossible, they're not dropping the 50 to 60% every weekend that most movies
Yeah,
do. They're
people
only
go into the
dropping
theater.
30 to 40%. People are going to the theaters to see movies they may have missed opening weekend. So you need to hit a home run in our league to be competitive with these big banner movies. But those legs might be longer than we expected, which is a good thing. The only thing not making money is Megan 2. I got lambasted for taking King of Kings, and that did not have an international release really at all. King of Kings is still double what Megan 2.0 has made total. So I just want to
Big oof.
just want to throw that out there. Before we leave, though,
Uh-huh.
Superman, last thing we want to talk about. Any last words you want to talk about the Superman James Gunn movie?
I want to give kudos to James Gunn. I want to say he did a fantastic job of creating a non-origin story and allowing it to be universal and having it be poignant and pointed and important in ways that I didn't foresee. Were some certain things heavy-handed with the split of a country that Lex Luthor's trying to take over,
Or even some little things heavy-handed, like that one reporter at the Daily Planet that like doesn't have a shirt that doesn't show all parts of her body, and then at the end she's jumping up and down in slow-mo, and the camera zooms in. Some of
Sure.
that's heavy-handed.
Some of these tropes, some of these moments, some of these things, though, like are can be very like stereotypical.
Like,
they
what was-
really work for this film.
They do.
Because he's able to thread the needle of making fun of it. For instance, with like, what about the glasses?
It seemed self-aware.
It's
It
very
seemed very
self-aware,
self-aware.
while also not being too self-aware. And he rides the line beautifully. He points out specific things and biases and the whole immigration plot line, I think, is very clear. And I think he does a really excellent job of making a statement in a movie for the masses, which is something that does not happen often.
There's also, I will say, as a person who does not love all CGI comic book action stuff, like too much of it to me, like kind of gets boring. I've seen it all before. There's some really fun action moments in this movie, particularly the Mr. Terrific fight scene and some of the
That's so
stuff
fun.
Superman does at the very end here. I'll also say there's some really funny moments of this scene that if you're not a James Gunn fan, that might irk you. Like when Superman and Lois are having that really pivotal conversation, there's a whole battle going on behind them. You're either going to really enjoy that or think it's the stupidest
I thought
thing
that
in the
was
world.
pretty hilarious.
I thought it was really
I loved
funny.
it.
I again,
Just another day in Metropolis.
again, I think this movie did exactly, and I do mean exactly what it needed to do in opening up a new door to the DC universe. I will see this movie again. I'm not putting it in the top 5 that we did a few weeks ago. I don't think it makes my top 5 list, but I really, really enjoyed it. And most importantly, I'm excited for the road ahead. Kellerman, close us out with your final thought on Superman.
Yeah, it really throws you into a whole new world. And I'm personally very excited to see the other parts of this world. So I would say go see it if you haven't, and comment below what you thought about it.
But that's it for the world of Superman. That's it for the opening show of the Box Office Buzz. We'll be back tomorrow with I Know What You Did Last Summer. And that's all I got for you.
Good exit.